Chosen one, heaven is calling you right now, and I need you to pick up. Not after you finished what you were doing, not in a few minutes when it feels more convenient right now, because what I have been trying to reach you with is not something that can wait for a better moment. This is the moment, the one I arranged, the one I have been building toward through everything that has led you to this exact point in your life. I know you have a lot going on. I know the list of things demanding your attention did not pause just because this appeared in front of you. But I am asking you to do something right now that might feel strange. I am asking you not to like this, not to share it, not to do anything except stay and listen all the way to the end, because what I have for you today is not something you receive in pieces. It has to be taken in whole, and if you leave before it is finished, you will leave before the part that was specifically prepared for you. So stay. That is all I am asking. Just stay. My child, let me tell you something about the call I have been making to your life. It did not begin today. I have been calling you for a long time, through seasons that were loud and through seasons that were so quiet you wondered if anything was still moving. Through the mornings when you felt my presence clearly and through the nights when you lay awake wondering if I had gone somewhere you could not reach me. Through every closed door and every unanswered prayer, and every moment of confusion about why your life was not going the direction you believed it was supposed to go. All of it was me calling, every single moment of it. The way I call is not always recognizable as a call. I do not always come with thunder or with a voice that parts the air. Most of the time I come in the quiet things, in the thought that crosses your mind that feels too specific to have come from you, in the ache that lives underneath the busy parts of your life and surfaces. In the still moments, in the pull you feel towards something you cannot fully name but that you know is real because it keeps returning no matter how many times you set it aside. That has been me every time. And today I am calling in a way that is harder to miss. Through this moment, through these words, through the specific and deliberate fact that out of everything you could have been watching right now, you stopped here. I arranged that, not the algorithm, not coincidence. I put this in front of you at this exact moment because what I need to say to you requires a clear line, and today that line is open. Pick up, be fully here. What comes next is worth it, my beloved. I want to tell you something about what has been happening in your life that you have not had the full picture on. You have been experiencing things and interpreting them through the information available to you. But the information available to you is incomplete. You are seeing your life from inside of it. I am seeing it from above it, and what I see from up here looks significantly different from what it looks like from where you are standing. From where you are standing, parts of your life look stuck. The things that were supposed to move have not moved. The prayers that were supposed to be answered have been sitting in silence long enough that you have started to wonder whether something went wrong. The version of your life that you carried in your imagination, the one that felt like it was coming together for a while, has not fully materialized in the way and on the timeline you expected. And from inside that experience, it is easy to draw a particular conclusion about what it means from where I am standing. Nothing is stuck. Everything is in motion. The things that look frozen to you are moving at a level you cannot see from your current vantage point. The prayers you thought were sitting in silence have been before me every single day. I have not set them aside. I have not moved on to other things. I have been working on them with a patience and a precision that the urgency of your waiting has made hard to trust. But that is real, and that is producing something. The version of your life that you have been believing for is not a fantasy that slipped away. It is a reality in construction that has not yet broken through to the visible surface. The gap between what you can see and what is actually happening is not evidence that nothing is happening. It is evidence that what is happening at a depth that produces things of real substance rather than things that arrive quickly and do not last. My child, there is a miracle that has your name on it, not a general blessing that applies to everyone equally, but something specific, something that was designed around the particular shape of what you have been carrying and the particular nature of what you have been believing for. Something that fits your life the way a key fits the lock it was made for, because it was made for yours. That miracle is what this call is about. I am not reaching out to you today simply to encourage you or to remind you of things you already know. I am reaching out because the miracle is closer to being released than it has ever been, and I need to prepare you to receive it properly. Because receiving something of this significance requires a readiness that not everyone has, and not everyone develops, and that the season you have been in has been building in you specifically, so that when it arrives you are someone who can hold it. Let me tell you what readiness looks like for what is coming. It is not having everything figured out. It is not being at a place of perfect faith where doubt has been completely eliminated. It is not having resolved every outstanding issue in your life before stepping into the blessing. Readiness is simpler and more demanding than any of those things. Readiness is the willingness to receive with open hands, to stop bracing against the possibility that good things are coming, and to orient yourself actively toward them, to believe not because the evidence is overwhelming, but because I said it, and I have never made a promise I did not keep. That is what I am asking you for today, not a performance of faith, the real thing, the quiet, honest decision to stop protecting yourself from hope, and to let what I am saying actually land in the places it was sent to reach. My precious one, the enemy is aware that what I am releasing toward your life is significant. He is aware because he has been watching your life for a long time, and he knows what is inside of you, and he understands what it will mean for his plans when what is inside of you is fully unleashed into the world. And so he has been working, not loudly, and not in ways that are always obvious, quietly, in the places where discouragement accumulates, in the spaces where doubt settles in slowly enough that you do not notice it becoming a settled belief, in the moments where the wait stretches long enough that the thing you have been believing for starts to feel less like a promise and more like a wish that is running out of time. He has been building a case in your mind that the miracle is either already past or was never coming at all, and some of that case has been believed at times, not deliberately, but by default, because the alternative, continuing to believe against the evidence, has been genuinely costly. I am calling today to dismantle that case. What he built from the materials of your disappointment is not the truth. The truth is that what I promised is intact. The truth is that what is coming has not been canceled. The truth is that the length of the wait is not evidence of my indifference, but of the depth of what is being built. And the truth is that the miracle he has been working so hard to make you stop believing in is the very thing that is now positioned to arrive. My child, I want to tell you what answering this call actually means for your life going forward. Because picking up is not just a moment, it is a decision that changes the posture you carry into everything that follows. The person who answers when heaven calls is different from the one who lets it go to voicemail and tells themselves they will get back to it later. Not because one is more deserving than the other, but because the act of answering, of stopping what you were doing, and giving your full attention to what I am saying, repositions something on the inside. It moves you from reactive to receptive, from managing your life to being led through it, from trying to figure everything out to trusting the one who already has. That repositioning is what the miracle needs on the other end. I cannot pour what I am releasing into a life that is braced against it. I cannot place what is coming into hands that are closed. The answering opens what the waiting had gradually allowed to close. And an open life is the environment where everything I have prepared is able to arrive and actually stay. My beloved, let me speak to something specific that I know has been sitting with you. A situation, a relationship, a need, an area of your life where the answer has been the longest in coming. The one you bring to me still, but with less of the rawness it once carried, because somewhere along the way the rawness was replaced by a kind of resigned acceptance that this particular thing might simply not be for you. I want to address that directly. That resigned acceptance was not something you arrived at through wisdom. It was something the long wait produced in you as a coping mechanism, a way to protect yourself from the continued pain of hoping for something that kept not arriving. I understand why it formed. It made sense given everything you went through in the waiting, but it is not the truth about your situation, and I need it to go before the answer can arrive, because an answer that arrives into resignation does not produce the response it was designed to produce. It gets minimized, explained away, received with less than what it deserves, because the capacity for full reception was dampened by the protection that formed over the hope. I am asking you to let that protection down, not recklessly with me, in the safety of this moment. Let yourself feel again the fullness of what you have been carrying and bring it back to me as the raw, real thing it was before the coping set in. That is where I do my best work. In the real and unmanaged version of what you bring, not the cleaned up presentation of it. Bring me the real thing today and watch what I do with it. My precious one, I also want to speak into what is coming in the natural areas of your life. The areas where provision has been tight, where the resources have not matched the need, and you have been operating in a space that requires more faith than it should require on a sustained basis. Provision is part of what is releasing, not in a vague general sense, but in ways that are going to touch the specific areas where the lack has been most persistent. I do not restore partially. When I move in the area of provision, I move completely. What has been missing is going to be addressed. What has been insufficient is going to become sufficient, and the way it arrives is going to carry my signature all over it, because it is going to come in ways that cannot be traced back to your own effort or your own cleverness. This is important because the way provision arrives matters. When it comes in ways you cannot explain, when it comes through channels you did not create and could not have manufactured, there is a clarity about where it came from that produces a particular quality of gratitude. The kind of gratitude that deepens trust, and deepened trust is what sustains the relationship that sustains the continued provision. I am not just meeting a need, I am building a pattern of dependence and faithfulness that is going to be the foundation for everything that follows this season. My child, I want to talk about the relationships in your life, because I know they have been a complicated part of this season. Some of the connections you valued most have changed or strained or simply grown distant in ways that you could not prevent and did not fully understand. Some people left when you needed the most. Some stayed, but with a different quality to the presence than before. And some of the loneliness you have been carrying has come from feeling like the relationships around you do not quite match what you are going through internally. I have seen all of it. Every moment of relational pain in this season has been seen by me, and none of it was outside of my awareness. Here is what I need you to understand about what has been happening in your relationships. Some of the distance that formed was protective, placed by me, not to isolate you, but to position you. The people who walked away were not all people you should have held on to. Some of them were holding space that was supposed to be available for what is coming. Some of the loneliness of this season was the loneliness of becoming, of outgrowing what was, and moving toward what is meant to be. And that transition always involves a period where you have left the old and have not yet arrived at the new. You are closer to the new than the loneliness has made it feel. What is coming in the area of relationships is going to feel like a form of coming home. Not because everything will be perfect, but because there will be a quality of recognition in the connections that are arriving. A sense of being truly seen and known without needing to explain or justify yourself. The kind of belonging that you have been carrying a longing for without always being able to name it, that is real, and it is moving toward you. My beloved, as this call moves toward its close, I want to leave you with something that I need you to carry forward into every day that follows this one. I called you today because I love you, not as a category, not as one person among many, but as you, the specific irreplaceable person you are, with the specific history you carry, and the specific gifts you hold, and the specific purpose I wrote for your life before you were born. That love is not theoretical, and it is not conditional, and it is not diminished by the seasons where you were not as close to me as either of us would have wanted. It is constant. It is fierce. It is the kind of love that does not rest until it has reached the one it is directed toward. And today it reached you through this call. The miracle you have been waiting for is not separate from this love. It is an expression of it. I am releasing it, not because you finally did enough to deserve it, but because love gives good things to the ones it loves. And I love you, and the good things prepared for your life have never expired. They have been held, and they are being released now into a life that has been through enough to receive them with the depth they deserve. Pick up every time I call, not just today, every time. You feel that pull, that quiet invitation to stop and be with me, that ache underneath the busy parts of your life that keeps returning no matter how many times you set it aside. That is me. Pick up every single time, because the more you answer, the clearer my voice becomes. The clearer my voice becomes, the more precisely I can guide you. The more precisely I can guide you, the more directly you walk into everything I have prepared. And what I have prepared for your life is worth answering every call it takes to get there. As it is written, call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. Jeremiah 33:3. That is not a suggestion. It is an invitation and a promise wrapped together. You call, I answer, and what I reveal in that exchange is beyond what you would have arrived at on your own. You answered today, and I answered back. Share this with the one person in your life who you know has a call from heaven waiting that they have not yet picked up. The one who needs to know that heaven has not stopped calling just because they have not answered for a while. You know exactly who that person is, and getting this to them today might be the most important thing you do.